Hi everyone, how are you? Well, first of all, it is amazing to continue with this course, with this seminar about culture in Argentina and Argentinian sport through culture. As I told you, there is a strong link between culture and sport in Argentina. As I already told you can understand Argentinian culture through sport, and you can understand Argentinian passion to sport through our studies, our culture studies. So, for this second class, I'm home. Welcome. I'm recording this video so we can work about analyzing sport. This is an important topic. This class will be more theoretical one, maybe the most theoretical one, but it is really important to understand the link of sports and culture. Not only in Argentina, we are going to speak about sport and culture around the globe, around the world. And of course, during these Olympic times, well, they finish, but still, these Olympic times, sport is everywhere. In Argentina, it happens every time. During Olympic Games, much more. So we're going to speak a little things about this theoretical concept that I will present to you, but also we are going to link this concept to these times, these actual times. Okay, so let me share screen. Yes. Well, first of all, like I told you, sports and culture in contemporary Argentina. This is analyzing sports. First of all, like always, our readings for today, we have Pierre Bourdieu program for a sociology of sport. I will speak a little bit about who is Pierre Bourdieu, a French sociologist. Now he's dead from, I don't know, 20 years ago, but he was really important in the 80s, the 90s, developing a theory about sociology, a sociology theory. And one of the topics that he developed, it was sports. And the other author, well, I don't have to present him. I'm the one. This we already work in the previous class. So who was Pierre Bourdieu? Pierre Bourdieu, this guy you have on your left. He wrote. He didn't wrote a lot of things about sport, but he wrote a theory about sociology that includes sport. What was his main idea? That choosing which sport do you like most, it is not something that you are born with. It's something you build because of other sociology or sociological matters. One of the things that you can see if you are interested in this theory that I will present in a minute, he was the writer of a documentary that is La sociologie est un sport de combat. The translation is sociology is a fighting sport. It is not only about sport, but it's how to survive in our world. You have to, I don't know, fight or something like that. You have to compete. This is the right word. So let's start. First of all, in building a program for a sociology of sport or a sport sociology, Pierre Bourdieu develops that sports, first of all, we have to understand in plural. Why is that? Because sports is a modern concept beside we spoke about, I don't know, ancient Olympic Games, for example. What we call sport, it was something that was developed during the 19th century, and it was developed because to understand nowadays sport, we have to understand institutionalization of rules. There's institutions, federations like Olympic Committee, International Olympic Committee, for example, that keep which rules we have to keep. We have to have in every sport. So there is not like games that we can, I don't know, speak, okay, we are going to play in this way, we are going to play that way. Sport has one first important thing, that the rules are written. The rules, we cannot change them. The other important stuff that sport has nowadays, not only a representation of myself as a sportman or a sportwoman, that, for example, we have international representation. Olympic Games, for example. So I win a gold medal, I wish to, but if anytime I win a gold medal, I win for me, but I win for my country. And this is an important idea, that sports in plural means that every sport has their own rules or their own materials or their own ways to play, but they have some stuff in common. That, for example, nowadays we can represent my country or my university or whatever through sports, and they have link. The sports has link one to each other. The other thing that sports, the other important thing to say sports in plural is that to play you have to have capitals, of course, economical capital, yes, of course, you have to have, I don't know, the right clothes to play, yeah, that is true. But Bourdieu says that there is a symbolical capital and cultural capital to play. Not every sport is played by everyone. One easy example can be polo. You have to have horses, for example, or swimming. You have to have swimming pools in your place. I will say something that can be a bad example, but maybe you understand. There are no swimmers on I don't know, open waters from Bolivia, and this is because they don't have a way to go out to the ocean. I don't know. You have to have some conditions to play sports. And the other thing that Bourdieu says that we live in relatively autonomous social spaces. For example, yes, I'm Argentinian, but also I'm male, so these two things allow me to play on the social life, but also in the sport life in different places. If I'm a woman, there's something. If I a Paralympic player, if I have, I don't know, a disability, I play in another. So there's some maybe you can think that you can think this like you represent different kind of social places, to be men, to be disabled, to be Argentinian, to I don't know, race, gender, capital, etc. So it is important for Bourdieu, and I will present this picture that he developed. It is in French, but well, no, it is in Spanish. I put it in Spanish. I didn't find it in English. But this is what he developed. I will explain all of this in some words. It depends which sport do you like most? It depends the place you are born to and the relationship of people that you are born to. So there's a link between which kind of, I don't know, alcoholic drinks you prefer, and sports, or if you have more cultural capital or less economical capital, or at the opposite. So there is the the link to sport. It is not only something that you like because of you. It has He developed a theory to study how the things that you like, if you vote for the right, if you prefer the left, if you prefer this sport or you prefer that one, if you prefer some, if you choose some career for academic career for your own. So there's a lot of things that you have to pay attention to understand sport as a social matter, not itself, but related to other social matters like economics, or I don't know, professions and else. So this is the three things that I want to share with you. First of all, it's interesting that we are going to analyze sport, and two things it's always being like on the table. We are always two things we have to think about: the gap between professional and amateurs. For example, in our field studies, we are going to go, I don't know, to River Plate Museum, or we are going to the CENAR, the national place where the sportmen and sportwomen that represent Argentina train. Yes, but we are going also to Parque Chacabuco. That is a square, that is a place that people go there to make physical activities, develop some sports, but they're always amateur people. So there is a gap between being professional and amateurs. Both are sportmen, both are sportwomen, but of course, it is not the same. And it is not only because they earn money playing something. It has two kind of different worlds. And in the middle, or maybe in the middle, we have another actor or actresses, spectators. Sporting spectators nowadays has their own identity. This is something really important to understand Argentinian culture linked with sports. Argentinian spectators of sports are worldwide well known because of their action or their singing songs, chants, banners, and else. So we can think also that we have some amateur spectators, like we can be, or professional spectators, people who work as a spectator, who live their life, and I know a lot of people live their life waiting for Sunday to go to the stadium, or people who work as a spectator. That is something that happened. People that are paid by the sporting club, mostly in football, in soccer, that they have to go to the stadium to sing. And that's really something that happened. So he made others singing with him. So there is a professionalization of spectators. This is something really interesting about Argentinian culture. You know, people being paid to go to the stadium to sing and to make others singing the songs and cheer for the team. Like maybe the mascot, like maybe something like that, but people without any custom. Second, there is a sporting pedagogy that is something really interesting sociologically speaking about. That is this concept is the habitus. Habitus is a ancient Greek concept. I will not develop it, but the interesting thing is there is something that you can transmit body to body. You don't need the language to speak. There's something that is contagious. There's something that you link with other with your body. And this is something really interesting in sports, because if you see someone, for example, there's some really interesting sociological analysis about how a sport growth after an Olympic game. This is some examples. For example, one player of Taekwondo, that is a fighting sport. One woman, La Peque Pareto, that is very short woman. You think, okay, maybe she's a regular person. Well, she won the gold medal. 1 month later, the people who begin to practice this sport, it was like incredible. The same happened every time. If there's some Argentina, for example, that winning this sport, like begin to be like really important, maybe the television go to transmit some games. So it is interesting how there is also a pedagogy to sport. And if you ever, another example is that if you are going to the stadium, probably you will be contentious of begin to sing and jump and else, because there's something body to body about the sport that is like, you don't need to speak. There is something about the feelings, and this is really interesting thing. The third interesting thing, some stuff I already spoke last class, but there is a sporting pedagogy through mass media. Mass media editing what we see, also edit what we have to see. Which kind of sport are most broadcast are the most important one, but at the same time, if you only broadcast some sport, they will be like a prophecy. They will be the most practiced one. This is what happened, for example, in Argentina. If you take a television and you make zapping, you will see that we have in Argentina almost 8 to 10 TV channels. And it is really common that the 8 or 10 TV channels are at the same time showing only football, only soccer. The time of TV screen, and if you are speaking about prime time, about football, it is nothing. It is everything compared to others. So we learn to understand sport, to appreciate, to see, to we understand a sport being a spectator and maybe being a mass media spectator. So with that, I want to finish for today this concept, thinking three things: 2 images and 1 video that I will leave you. The first image, I don't know, maybe you heard about Imane Khalif. Imane Khalif is an Algerian boxer that competed in the past Olympic game, and she was accused to being a man. Why she was accused to being a man? Because of 2 things. Because his face was kind of manly. Yeah, she looks like a man, and this is completely discrimination. And the other because her body produces more more hormones that we call masculine hormones, that men has more hormones that woman this kind of or hormone. So she was accused of being a man because of her biology. I'm sorry, she is a man. She was accused to being a man because all of that. And this is really interesting to think about gender issues, of course, but also to understand that, for example, she was a fighter representing a place, Argelia, fighting in France. Argelia was for 100 years a colony of France. So this matter also are important. It is not only a boxer player. She was an Algerian fighting in France. And also, we don't have to forget that in Algeria, it is illegal to be homosexual or transgender people. So if she were a man competing with woman, she will not be allowed, not because of the sporting rules, because she will be in prison. So we have to understand that what the social media makes, what the mass media makes to us to see, to understand, but also that we speak about her name, we speak about her country, but we forget about her human condition, her human feelings, most deeply feelings. Imagine everyone says, you cannot compete, you are a man. And she's not feeling like that way. Maybe I can put an image of Simon Biles, the same, and all the haters that begin to speak about her when she didn't compete in Tokyo 2020. The other image also about the Olympic Games is Matthew Dawson, a field hockey Australian player, male, that he has an injury. He has a problem in one of his finger, like a month before the Olympic Games, and they say him, okay, you will lose the Olympic Games because the time for recovering your finger, it will be much more. What was his decision? His decision to cut part of his finger, not to heal and to compete on the Olympic Games. Well, this is really interesting to speak about sociology of sport and sociology of the body, because who is the owner of my body? Can I decide everything about can I cut my arm, my finger? For example, this practice in Argentina is not legal. I cannot cut a part of my body without a law decision. Like I cannot commit suicide myself, because for Argentinian law, it is killing someone. So you have to go to prison. Of course, if you are the killer and the kill, you are not going to prison, but it is illegal. So to understand also sport representation, it depends in every place. This thing that we can say, okay, what would you do to compete? What would you do to make your own make your goals? Well, he decide to cut a finger. What you will do? What we can do? Okay. And the last example, I will leave you on the canvas a video that is interesting to understand Argentinian culture through sport. It is the safety rules for taking an airplane. As you take a lot of planes, you came to Argentina. If you travel through with the company Aerolíneas Argentinas, the national company of of flights, you will see this video. That is the safety rules, the common safety rules, but the actors are the actual coach of Argentinian male soccer team and Argentinian male football team that they win the World Cup. So it is really funny to, I like this video because you will see all the stuff that we all will listen, understand them as they're part of a football game. So enjoy. Last, but not least, I will leave you the first cultural assignment for next class. We will meet next class in CAA in Suipacha Street. And you have to find a painting mural about sport and take some photograph, and please post them in your sport journal that you have on our canvas. And on class, I will make everyone to have an oral presentation. What is the idea? The idea is to understand that sport and culture in Argentina, or sport and culture in Buenos Aires, it is not only in stadiums or in, I don't know, fields or tracks. It's every place. Every place we have in our murals, in our walls, we have sport and culture. So enjoy searching for murals, enjoy looking for our culture in every wall of Buenos Aires city. So it was a pleasure. If you have any comment, any question, or whatever, you can send me a message through Canvas. So, people, see you next week. Bye bye.